Greetings, readers. This is Bill. Just wanted to do a little update on the Nostalgia Contest. We're a week into it at this point. There's 2 weeks left until, I stop accepting entries and draw names to win the prize packs. I've been really enjoying reading the entries I've received so far. I love getting to know you guys. I love what I do, and this week I've been seeing, just what's the word I'm looking for? The level of respect and esteem people hold me in, which takes me completely by surprise. I mean, a couple people in the horror community have reblogged about the contest and shared it on Facebook. And just seeing what they have to say about me is weird. Like, I read what they're saying and I'm like, me? That's not me. I'm not that amazing. But anyways, the entries I've been getting have been really nice. A lot of really cool stories. Realizing just how far-flung some of the readership is. I mean, one entry came from New Zealand, which I think is just about as geographically distant from the apartment in which I'm writing my reviews as it's possible to be. But yeah, keep spreading the word. Keep entering. If you haven't entered yet, there's still time. But, don't wait till the last minute and risk, missing the cutoff date. Just... I want to read what you have to say. I want to hear your stories. And, I want to give away some cool stuff to you guys. That being said, I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit for you guys. So far, the prize pack consists of 2 randomly selected VHS tapes, 2 barrels of toxic waste hazardously sour candy, a fistful of Monster in My Pocket figures, and a couple radiation-scarred reviews buttons. I'm going to add to that a collection of 13 horror movies, all themed around hillbillies and hatchets. Now, I don't know about you, but I love good redneck horror movies. I consider myself kind of an honorary redneck at times. I am upfront, completely upfront. Everything I love in life is kind of trashy. I love terrible food. Being from Buffalo, New York originally, I am a connoisseur of wings. It pains me a little bit. I've moved out of Buffalo. I have to go back periodically to stockpile the good sauce for, putting on wings. I like trashy food. I like these trashy horror movies. I listen to 80s hair metal. I'm probably the biggest Meatloaf fan out there right now. I mean, my love of Bat Out of Hell 2 is probably bordering on unhealthy. But, redneck horror is some of my favorite horror. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course, is the absolute classic. But films like Herschel Gordon Lewis's 2000 Maniacs, films like Motel Hell, Deranged, if you get right down to it, Deliverance really is a horror movie. you know, rednecks are scary shit. Um, you know, I've known a lot of rednecks in person. Like I said, I kind of consider myself an honorary one from the amount of time I've spent with them. You know, I've wrangled chickens on a farm. You know, I was dating a girl for a while who grew up on a farm, and I was more than happy to help her father out with the livestock. Um, I've never seen any of these movies. I've never even heard of any of these movies. I don't know if anyone has heard of any of these movies. I mean, Deer Crossing, Live Animals, Visible Scars, A Bothered Conscience. I haven't heard of any of these. Have you guys? Let me know. I'm not expecting this box set, to contain any gems. If by some chance there is, as Meatloaf so gloriously sang, a coup de ville hiding at the bottom of the Cracker Jack box, so to speak, I would be shocked and amazed. But, you're reading Radiation Scarred reviews. You're probably watching a lot of the same sort of movies I am. You're probably not watching them looking for, Oscar quality. I mean, Radiation Scarred Reviews is a bad movie site, quite honestly. We're watching the trash here. So I'm going to put one of these 13 Hillbilly and Hatchet movie box sets in each of the prize packs. So the contents, once again now, are 2 VHS tapes, 13 Hillbilly movies on DVD, 2 barrels of toxic waste hazardously sour candy, a fistful of Monster in My Pocket figures, and a handful of Radiation Scarred Reviews buttons. And you know what? I'm going to share a horror memory with you. Consider this... I'm not going to put my name in, but consider this my entry in the nostalgia contest. Growing up, I've always been a big reader. My mother would take me to the public library once a week to get out books. And my library had a surprisingly large number of books from the 1960s and 1970s about horror movies in the kids section. And, there's a whole shelf of just, horror movie stuff. And there was a whole shelf of, flying saucer books and, cryptozoology stuff as well, but what I really gravitated to was the horror movie stuff. I've always been a big monster kid, as I mentioned in the last video. But the number one thing I remember seeing on the shelves was a series of books called the Crestwood House books. And these were, slim volumes, bound. My library had them all in hardcover. They had an orange cover, orange spine, and there's probably 15 or 20 different books in the series. My library had them all, and a bunch of them had multiple copies of, so there was a whole shelf just full of these things. And I remember one time I had to have been 8 or 9 years old, at the most, maybe as young as 7. I tried to get the entire series out all at once. The librarian, not real happy with me for that. He's like, you know what? How about you take 3 this week, and you can take out another 3 next week, and that way there's some here if anyone else wants them. And I eventually worked my way through the whole series. I recently got a couple of these books. My girlfriend found them for me at a swap meet, flea market sort of deal. She had no idea that I'd grown up with these books, but she saw them and just said, that seems like something Bill would be into. And she picked them up for me, and they're paperback ones, so not an exact match, but she got me Godzilla, which it tries to cover the entire series, or the series up to about 1974. Not a lot of real accurate information in this one. It recites the old myth that they filmed two different endings for King Kong vs. Godzilla. American audiences got to see King Kong win, and Asian audiences got to see Godzilla win, which just isn't true. And then she also found The Blob, Steve McQueen, 1958. It's a classic because it's out on Criterion DVD, which means it's too goddamn pricey for me to own. And then The Deadly Mantis, which I guarantee, reading this book as a kid is why I enjoy this film as much as I do now, just for the nostalgia. It is not one of the great big bug flicks. It is not Them. It is not even Tarantula. It's above Earth versus the Spider, or The Monster That Challenged the World, but not by much. Not really, but I just have a soft spot for it. So yeah, that's my nostalgia moment for this video entry. I think I'm gonna do one of these video updates probably do another one in a week, and then another one when I do the drawing for the winners. So that's it for me for this week. Please keep entering. If you haven't entered yet, there's still plenty of time. There's 2 weeks to go. Don't wait till the last minute. You don't want to wait and then discover that you missed the deadline. And honestly, if I can be selfish for a minute, I'm loving reading your entries. So keep them coming. It really brightens my day every time I check my email and see a new entry, new email saying contest in the subject line. To enter, shoot me an email, radiationscarredreviews, all one word, at gmail.com. Put contest in the subject line, and in the body of the email, just tell me a horror memory of yours. The first film you can remember seeing, if you got to third base or got to second base for the first time during Night of the Living Dead, tell me about it. If your babysitter showed you Halloween when you were 9 years old and you pissed the bed in terror, tell me about it. If it's a good story, I might bend the rules and give you an extra entry. You never know. But yeah, keep the entries coming. I'm loving reading them. I've got some good stuff planned for review for this weekend. So, yeah, this is Bill from Radiation Scarred Reviews signing off of this video entry. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around the radiation barrel, I guess. That was terrible. I'm trying to come up with a good sign-off line. I'll think of something eventually. But, yeah, keep the entries coming, and, bye for now, I guess.